chicas, hola chicos, pardon, good evening, and welcome to the Teatro Travieso production of Joto, Confessions of a Mexican Outcast. We kindly request that you turn your cell phones off at this time. No, not on silent, y no on vibrate, pero apagado. Off, please. On behalf of the cast and crew, we would like to thank everyone for their support. Muchas gracias.
Dear Diary, 3 of the most traumatic things happened to me today. I was born, an old man spanked me and I like it, and I met a chichi. Everything around me looks new and mysterious. I feel so strange being outside my mother's womb, but I'm not afraid. So many things to discover, so many things to feel, so many things to experience, to like. Will the world around me be full of secrets, enigmas, and puzzles? I have so many questions, so many doubts. What is the world like? What is my life going to be like? Will the Kardashians ever go away? Dear Diary, today was my first day of school. I was so excited that I ended up changing 5 different times before my mama told me I had to wear a uniform. Who said that navy blue pants and long sleeve shirts are fashionable? Who? My elementary school is run by these angry old ladies in black. They seem to be in mourning. Something must be wrong with the hair too, because they always cover it up. Despite all that, I enjoy going to school. The memories of elementary school come and go like the many in my life. They all just faded memories. Some are good, some are bad, and some cannot be erased. Carlos Manuel, please come in front of the class so you can explain this atrocity. Sí, Madre Rosa. What is this? My homework, Madre Rosa. Yes, but what type of homework is it? Oraciones, Madre Rosa. You told us to write 10 oraciones. Ah. Pero qué tonto eres. I shall explain. In Spanish, the word oración means sentence, but it can also mean prayer. And after Madre Rosa spent half the day talking to us about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and the importance of prayer, and then she told us to write 10 oraciones so we could work on our grammar, I naturally thought she meant 10 prayers. And for that, I get punished. I tried to make her see the light, but instead, she sent me to La Madre Superiora, who decided to make an example of me. That day, I realized that those nuns are not only angry, mourning, and have bad hair, they're also sexually frustrated. Dear Diary, I don't know why the priests and the nuns from my school do not understand me. Today, one of the padres came to talk to us about the difference between boys and girls. You are all children of God. Your body is God's temple, and you must always avoid carnal temptation. You must always avoid temptation. Remember, children, you are made to God's image, and as such, you must always keep yourself as holy as possible. I actually like the Father's talk. So the next day at Children's Mass, I remember what he said. After Mass, I sneaked away, I climbed the altar, reached out to the bloody Jesus that lay on the cross, and started lifting his shiny, colorful, and brand new loincloth. But I don't know what happened, but the flying nun in one leap and a bound took me down. And I was suspended from school for 2 weeks. Ow. Dear Diary, because of the incident with Jesus, I now have to prepare 3 Bible verses for a whole month so we can study them in class every Monday. I really hate this assignment. Luckily, my good friend Victor got in trouble, so now the 2 of us are in charge of preparing Bible verses. Back then, I had 2 good friends, Victor and Tony. The 3 of us always spent our time together, even though we were so different in looks and likes. Victor was the strongest, with light brown skin and light brown eyes and brownish hair. Tonio was the tallest. His skin was darker than mine, he had jet black eyes, and his hair was very straight and thick. And then there was me, the skinniest of the 3, physically weak and always looking like a nerd. Oh, and while Antonio's specialty was video gaming, and Victor's pastime was soccer, mine was doing their homework, because that's how I roll. Victor, Tonio, and I were oblivious happy about the world around us. So when the time came for Victor and I to work on those Bible verses, we took the opportunity to explore other matters. Matters like I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Or, do you have any hair down there? Really? Let me see. Or, I hear that if you take a banana peel and wrap the inside of it on your crotch, your pubic hair will grow faster. Let's try it. Once we got to La Preparatoria, things got really weird. After one of Victor's soccer games, Tonio and I were walking around the field. Victor was sitting with the rest of his teammates. When we got there where they were sitting, everyone started laughing. And not Victor. Dear Diary, for the first time I saw Victor in a way I never seen him before. I don't know how to explain it. He was wearing the same soccer shorts he always wears, but for some reason he looked different. The moment I saw him, I felt the earth trembling under my feet, and my heart skipped a few beats. What is happening to me? After that, I avoided Victor as much as possible. I only talked to him when Carlos was around. And every time I found myself alone with him, I found excuses to get away. Carlitos, mijo, Carlos Manuel, ven para acá, mijito. Ven. Mira, mijito, quiero que vayas a la farmacia del güero y me traigas un poquito de violeta. My abuelita sent me to the pharmacy with a small jar in hand. ¿Violeta, abuelita? Sí, mijo, violeta. Oh, y no vayas a ir con el chino, ¿eh? Ah, no, ese señor da muy cara las cosas. My grandma used to make remedios caseros, home remedies she made for all of us and for a small fee for a lot of people in town. As I walked down the street, I saw Victor sitting in the sidewalk talking to the friends from his neighborhood. Suddenly my heart started beating faster and my hands started to shake uncontrollably. I took a deep breath and decided to say hi. And as I got closer, I heard them laugh and taunt me. Míralo, y camina como modelito. And where you going, pretty one? What's your hurry? Don't you like us? Eres un maricón. That last one came from Victor. I arrived to La Farmacia del Güero in shock. I couldn't even remember what abuelita told me to buy. I was sweating, I was dizzy, and I started to cry. That experience really screwed up with my mind. After that, I became very self-conscious of the way I walk, I talk, I stood, and I moved my hands. And I started to be very afraid and ashamed because I realized I started to like other boys. But the worst thing was that the more I tried to avoid Victor, the more attracted I found him to be. Good thing I had never seen a soap opera. Otherwise, I would have compared myself to the melodramatic lives of the many telenovela divas, such as Lucia Méndez, Verónica Castro, Erika Buenfil, and Erika Buenfil. But I had seen one movie, and that was enough to make me understand what Pedrito Fernández was going through with La Niña de la Mochila Azul. And you know what? Victor didn't have a blue backpack, but he should have dreamy eyes. Dear Diary, if feeling this way is wrong, Why does God allow it? Is it because I tried to look under his loincloth? Or is it because what happened to me when I was 7? Is this a test? If this is a test, how long will it be? How long will it last? If this is not a test, did God make a mistake? Am I a mistake? The longer Victor and I stayed away from each other, the closer Tonio and I became. One afternoon, his father told him to clean the stables. I volunteered to help. Afterwards, Tonio showed me how to ride a horse. But let's face it, my ability to ride a horse was, and it still is, not as good as my talents to ride a man. You want to try it? You know, after we were done, all sweaty and exhausted and tired, Tonio and I started to horseplay, unintended. One thing led to another, and we ended up with our shirts off. And suddenly, Tonio pressed his body against mine. I felt a sudden jolt within me, and I could hear his breathing getting heavier. He took my head and placed it on his chest. And it felt good. It felt really, really good. And suddenly, Tonio kissed me. Pinche Joto. Tonio did not go to school for the next 4 days, and I felt incredibly guilty. On the 5th day, he played me a surprise. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know what came over me. You got me by surprise. I thought you wanted me to kiss you. Did I give any signs? I thought, it doesn't matter. I just want to say sorry for kissing you. Please, Carlos Manuel, don't tell anyone. Who am I going to tell? You're my best friend, Tonio. And that's when it happened. No warnings, no words, no hesitation. I kissed him. I kissed him. And he kissed me back. 2 months after that, we ended up, well, you know. And it was, well, to tell you the truth, it was very short and awkward because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And I wish I could say that that evening in March was the time that I lost my virginity, but that would be a lie. Many years before, while on vacation in a different part of the country, a relative of my stepfather forced himself into me. I don't remember the details, just a dark room, pain, and blood, lots and lots of blood, and a warning to never say a thing. And I never did, until now. I was 7 years old. Dear diary, I always thought that my desires for other guys were in part because of what happened to me without men. But now I'm starting to understand that it isn't so. The time Tonio and I have spent together has been very special. We have come to know each other. And to tell you the truth, dear diary, it's weird. But I like it. Tonio and I don't go on dates. We don't hold hands, we don't send flowers, we don't even say anything romantic to each other. Basically, we're like a married couple. Our lives continue to be exactly the same as before the kids. But now there's some frolicking on the side. When Tonio, Victor, and I graduated from high school, I moved away. And I never saw them again. Dear diary, my mama is moving to El Norte to find work. I can't go, so I'm going to be living with my abuelos, her parents. I understand why I have to stay behind and why she has to go to the USA. Still, I can't help being sad. Dear Diary, I hate living here. I hate these people. I hate this town. But most of all, I hate my abuelo. My abuelo was a man that was worshipped, respected, and adored by his children and grandchildren. Everyone knew who my abuelo was, and many people sought his advice. But as a child, I hated him. He was the first person to make me feel like being myself was wrong. I am 5 years old, I don't quite remember. What I recall is my girl cousin playing with a brand new Barbie doll house. Hey Carlos, ¿quieres jugar? Sí, I wanna play. My girl cousin laughs as we share childlike cares. Suddenly, my smile turns into fear as I see my abuelo rushing towards me. I take the dolls and throw them away. I try to escape from Barbie's being heavy, but it's too late. He has the upper hand. Ven para acá, muchacho cabrón. ¿Quién te dijo que jugar con muñecas es bueno para ti? Haven't I taught you enough? You're not a faggot. Okay. Maybe he didn't slap me, punch me, and kick me so many times. But he did slap me, punch me, and kick me at least twice. Y deja de llorar. Be a man. That was my childhood. And as a teenager and adult, I hated him. Dear Diary, finally, my mama is taking us to El Norte, to a city known as Stockton, California. I can't wait to live among the movie stars and eat hamburgers until I puke. Dear Diary, the US is not like the movies. Growing up as a Mexican immigrant has always been challenging. On the one hand, people want me to assimilate. On the other, I refuse to give up my Mexican heritage. At the end, I had to learn how to compromise the two. And after all these years, I still believe I'm very, very Mexican. I mean, if you go to my house and open a container that says, I can't believe it's Navarro, it's because it's Navarro, people. It's my mother's homemade salsa. When I feel like having tacos, I go to La Lonchera, not Taco Hell. At birthday parties, I'm usually standing very close to the cake. That way, I can push your face down after you blow the birthday cake. I don't care if you're 3 or 7, you are going down. I go to quinceañeras almost every other month. And as an adult, whenever I see a paletero, elotero, I immediately stop what I'm doing and I run after him. Even if I'm in the bathroom, I'm like, ese paletero, elotero, dile que se espere, I voy. And then I just pull out my cholis and run. I don't even clean myself. I know it's gross, but one must know his priorities. Growing up as a Mexican child was exciting and scary. Exciting because I grew up watching La Chilindrina, El Chavo del Ocho, El Chapulín Colorado. And scary because, well, 3 of the most scary things in my house were El Cinto, El Gancho, y La Chancla. Even today, I'm scared of La Chancla because that thing flies everywhere and never misses its target. Another three things that I'm very scared of: el chamuco, el cucuy, y la llorona. I mean, who uses the story of the crying woman, a woman who drowned her children, as a children's bedtime story? Mexicans, that's cool. Mijo! Go to sleep, mijito! La Llorona is looking for her children, and if you still awake, she'll know and she'll come and take you away with her. What the fuck? In my house, tamales have become the official food for any holiday, and beans are required in almost every meal. And while most people are trying to figure out if they belong to Team Jacob or Team Edward, Team Nick Jonas or Team Justin Bieber, Team Miley Cyrus or Team Nicki Minaj, in my house, we're always arguing whether it's best to be on Team Green Salsa or Team Red Salsa. O que si fue gol o no fue gol. O que si Cholula is better than Tapatío. Or whether Chocolate Abuelita is more Mexican than Chocolate Barra. So I know I'm Mexican and an immigrant. And I'm Joto. Talk about your triple threat. Dear diary, today a boy asked me what I was, and I was suddenly scared and ashamed because I thought he knew my secret. I didn't know what to say until somebody said, "He's an Aries." As an Aries, I tend to take leadership roles. I tend to be a go-getter, a risk-taker, and I tend to question authority. I wonder if any of these qualities will ever get me into trouble. Ask, and you shall receive. When I was a child, I always got into trouble, and I always was punished for it. One of the punishments was to stay after school for an entire month, helping a school janitor, a man named Jose, rumored to be a Joto. Everyone called him Joselito. Working with Joselito was a good thing, because while we sweat, mop, scrub toilets, and clean the classrooms, Joselito played music to pass the time. And what was Joselito's favorite artist? None other than Juan Gabriel, El Divo de México. I don't know if Joselito was gay or not, but while cleaning, he loved singing along with Juan Gabriel. Vamos a Noa, 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 no. That is too low for Joselito. It was more like Vamos a Noa, 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 vamos a bailar. Este es un lugar de ambiente, donde todo es diferente, donde... I'm sorry, Carlos Manuel. I didn't see you standing there. That's okay, Jose. I don't mind. I think Joselito is gay. But he's also married and has 2 kids, so... Needless to say, Joselito and I got along right away. So soon we ended up next to each other, cleaning and scrubbing toilets and the floors, and singing very loud along with Juan Gabriel. Todas las mañanas entra por mi ventana el señor sol. Doy gracias a Dios otro día más. Hoy como este día, para ser mejor. The reality is that neither Joselito nor I had a singing voice, but we didn't care. We were gaily free to sing as loud as we wanted to. 2 weeks after we started singing, everything changed. The nun sent 2 other students to detention, Ricardo and Ernesto. Ricardo was a very nice guy and also very cute. Ernesto, on the other hand, he always seemed to be mad. And except for Ricardo, I don't think he had any friends. In fact, I found out that the reason they were in detention was because Ernesto played a practical joke at some girls. But that's not important. What's important is that the nuns decided to split the two friends up. And Ernesto ended up with me. Ernesto is a bully. And he turns my Mexican Idol spinning spree into a living hell. Hey, Carlos Manuel, I hear that you and Joselito. Hey, Carlos Manuel, so you like to... Hey, Carlos Manuel, so are you like a faggot? And that went on and on and on for the first 2 days after he joined the cleaning squad. But remember, I'm an heiress. I question authority. So the third day, I felt incredibly empowered. And I don't know if it was because I drank too much Chocomil Pancho Pantera, or because the night before I had watched 2 episodes of Sailor Moon. But the fact is that I was not going to put up with his bullshit no more. Hey, Carlos Manuel, mira lo que tengo para ti, maricón. ¿Qué tienes para mí? What do you have for me? I don't know what got into me, but suddenly I felt myself walking towards him, reaching for his crutch. He was so shocked that he didn't move. So I just went for it. A ver, let me see. No siento nada. I don't feel anything. Get away from me, pinche Joto. Ernesto threw me against the stall and took off running, and I stayed behind laughing. Victory! The next day at school, the rumors about me being like Joselito spread like wildfire. The girls started to murmur behind my back, and the boys started to tease me in the open. Ernesto, bully that he is, convinced some of the guys to help him beat me up because I was a pinche joto. But Ricardo came to my rescue, and they left me alone. 2 days after that, on my way home, I saw Ernesto standing in a corner waiting for me. A ver quién te va a defender ahora, pinche jotito. What do you want, Ernesto? Leave me alone. I had to get home. What? Is mommy waiting for her crybaby? As a matter of fact, yes. My mom is waiting for her crybaby. Now, no one really likes smarts, and I can be a smartass. Ernesto suddenly threw a punch at me, but I moved. He was too slow. I decided to take off running, but he tripped me. This time, I was too slow. I landed on the floor and started to crawl away from him. He came from behind and started kicking me once, twice, 3 times, and suddenly, déjame Ernesto! Look at him! He's scared. He's a little faggot and everybody knows it. What's worse than that? Deja que el maricón se vaya para su casa. Come on, let's go. He's not worth it. I saw them walking away, and while I was thankful that Ricardo came to my rescue once again, this time I felt sad because he called me a faggot. His words hurt me more than Ernesto's kicks. And I started to cry because I, a Joto on the verge of awakening, had developed a secret crush on Ricardo. And I couldn't believe that the man of my dreams, mi media naranja, could kill me in the stomach like that. I curse you heavens for making me feel this way. Malditos son los cielos. Why did you allow me to feel this way, huh? Ricardo! Don't you know I love you? Don't you know I think about you all the time? Don't you know you're my nightly fantasy? And you prick me with a pin? Don't I bleed? If you kick me in the stomach, don't I hurt? If you tickle me, don't I laugh? If you poison me, don't I die? Then why? Why do you do this to me? Why? Why? Oh, girl, get your shit together. 2 months after that, I learned that Ricardo was sent to detention. I take that opportunity to join the cleaning squad once again. And soon, I'm cleaning and singing along with Joselito. And later, between singing and cleaning, I found myself alone with Ricardo. And I walked towards him, reaching for his crutch. And he doesn't move. He actually takes my hand and thrusts his hips towards me. I'm shocked. I don't know what to do. I decide to run away. But remembering that I'm an Aries, that I take risks, that I'm a go-getter, I decided to press my body against his. And suddenly, the hands, the lips, and the bodies of 2 14-year-old boys seemed to me melting into one. As Juan Gabriel and Joselito are singing in the background. It was the year George Bush Sr. took office, the year the Menendez brothers killed their parents. The movie Rain Man became the best picture, and the first episode of The Simpsons aired on TV. It was also the year of Men on the Mirror by Michael Jackson, Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses, and 1, 2, 3 by Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine. It is the year that I, Carlos, turned 21 years old. I'm still in the closet and I'm already denying my Mexican heritage. My future is already screwed, filled with confusion, anger, and desolation. Just like a Lindsay Lohan special. To celebrate my birthday, some of my dear friends take me to the only gay club in Stockton, California. Apparently, the birthplace of the Fantastic Four. Who knew? Anyway, they take me to the only gay club in town. Some men like it and some men don't. And it is known as Paradise. The place is dark. Not that dark. Thank you. Anyway, Paradise is nasty, scary, and hardly visible. It is the perfect place for gay romance and instant gratification. I tremble with excitement. Walking among the multitude requires everyone to be expertly clever. Some of the old men remind me of Nosferatu. Some of the drag queens remind me of scary clowns. And the singer smoke reminds me of a scene from Night of the Living Dead. The place is everything I expected it to be. Shady, shocking, and shady. I am there, at the club, speechless and with my mouth wide open. Just like you were when you found out that Talia or Katy Perry don't really sing. Yeah, that mouth. I am speechless because of the dance floor. There's a man, shirtless, sweaty, tall, young guy. His perfect blonde hair bouncing up and down. His glistening body moves to Michael Jackson the way you make me feel. And I cannot stop staring. There are so many things I like about a young man. His height, his big muscles, his bicep, his broad chest, his flat stomach, his fingers. And then it's there, a club paradise, where I decide I am going to become that man. And by Sus, la Virgen de Guadalupe, and Huitzilopochtli, I am going to become him. Never mind the blonde hair and the blue eyes. That plan is already in motion. The problem is that I'm still in the closet and I'm not ready to come out. So I try to make my attraction for the young man very unsuspicious. But in secret, I want his body to be my body. I want his visual form to be my visual form. I want his big muscles, his broad chest, his flat stomach, his fingers. The young man notices how stupidly I yearn after him. He makes his move and I panic. The moment he comes over to say hi, I take off running from the dance floor, leaving the club and my friends behind. After that experience, coming out for me becomes even more complicated. First of all, I feel ashamed because of my family might say and think about me. Second, I feel guilty because of my religious upbringing. And how it can be difficult for me to come out. I mean, when I was a child, people used to call me all sorts of names. Puto, maricón, jotito, loquita. And you know, all those names hurt me. They really hurt me. But with time, I developed a thick skin. Because the saying that says, stick and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you is not true, people. Stick and stones break bones. And words sometimes leave deeper wounds. I still remember my uncles and aunts getting together on the weekends and talking about how estos jotos maricones are sick people. I still remember them getting together and talking about how so-and-so is a maricón, even though he's married and has children back in Mexico. And why is he like that? Because he gets around with los gringos, and los gringos make you do things like that. Add to that the religious messages from the church and the internal homophobia that exists within Latino raza, and there you have it. A perfect recipe to kill yourself. But my death cannot be any death. Oh no. In case you haven't noticed, I have a flair for the dramatic. I can't help it, I'm an Aries. My death needs to be as passionate and as romantic as Ophelia's death. Her death was mermaid-like, with her claws spread wide, with elegant garlands and cornflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, all while singing church songs. Ain't nobody time half of that. Really, Queen? Really? Not today, Satan. Not today. Dear Diary, I finally met the love of my life, musical theater. And now I found myself singing about hills that are alive and nuns that are in love. Can I get any gayer? I love musicals ever since I first saw The Muppet Show and then Donnie and Marie's show back in my homeland. The Muppets made me laugh, and Donnie made me feel really weird things in my stomach. But you cannot hold that against me. Like Lady Gaga, I was born this way. I love theater ever since I first experienced it back in elementary school. I was introduced to musicals through El Títere, a musical version of Pinocchio by Carlos Manuel. But then I moved to the United States, and even though I didn't speak very well English, I decided to audition for my first show. And I ended up being part of the ensemble in the musical No Nuna Net, a 1920s tap dance extravaganza. It is here where my career in theater started, in the good old USA. Since then, it's been a series of ups and downs. I once auditioned for the musical Godspell. I wasn't cast in this show because of my accent. I know this because the director told me, but also because of the way I look. The director didn't tell me that. But when I went to see the show, I noticed that every cast member had blonde hair and blue eyes. Godspell is the universal story of Jesus. But I guess he and all his disciples have always been white. When I was cast in Shakespeare The Tempest, the island was located somewhere in the Caribbean. And I was an Aztec chief. Think about that for a minute. On one occasion, I was told I was too Latino to play the part of a Mexican. And in another, I was too Mexican to play the part of a Latino. But I never gave up. I played a gangster in Guys and Dolls, a thief in 42nd Street, a gay member in West Side Story, a cook, a servant, a drug dealer. And many years later, I played Ramon Fornos in the play Lord, Valor, Compassion. He's the young, sexy, self-confident, and welcome Puerto Rico dancer. The one that gets naked, cheats on his boyfriend, and sleeps with almost every man in the play, single or otherwise. In other words, I've been too Mexican, not Mexican enough, a gangster, a thief, a cook, a gay member, and a half sexy caliente, welcome, bottom faithful Latin lover. I have played some of the best roles ever created on Broadway. But perhaps the best role I ever played happened in 1998 in San Francisco, California. At the time, I was a member of a gay Latino support group known as Hermanos de Luna y Sol. If you think the name is too gay, you should have seen some of the members. As many of you know, June is Gay Pride Month in many parts of the country, including San Francisco. As part of the festivities, the Mission Cultural Center organizes a Mr. and Mrs. Gay Latino, similar to a beauty pageant. Back in 1998, Hermanos de Luna y Sol sent 3 members, including me, to participate. The night of the competition, I discovered that all the men competing were doing a striptease as part of the talent portion. And as I looked at them, I felt more like a Pee Wee Herman than a Mario Lopez. But that didn't matter to me, because I was not going to strip. Instead, I was going to perform a monologue. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be my throne, my love, and I will never be a Capulet. Gay. I was given the title of Mr. Gay Latino 1998. At the gay parade, I was sitting in a convertible next to Mrs. Gay Latino 1998, whose name, ironically, is Carlos. For an entire year, the two of us represented the gay raza in many events throughout the Bay Area. But don't be fooled by the smiles, the free clothes, and the inspiring speeches. Every time we had to make an appearance, I started to dread those appearances. Because people started chanting, mucha ropa, mucha ropa, mucha ropa, which means I needed to remove my shirt. So to a certain point, I started to dread going to those appearances. And I started to develop anxiety. But despite my uncomfortness to remove my shirt and my low anxiety attacks, as of today, I still think that being Mr. Gay Latino 1998 is the best role I have ever played. Dear Diary, why didn't you tell me that accepting my feelings for men was so good to my health and my libido? After all these years, I finally dared to go out to gay clubs and have some fun. And boy, have I been having fun. Some of my friends say that I'm having too much fun, but whatever, it's fun. One of the most important aspects of my coming out was telling my familia, especially my mama. I realized that once she knew, nothing else mattered. So following American traditions, I wanted to be home for the holidays. My mama was sitting in the living room watching one of her favorite Spanish TV shows, El Show de Cristina. That evening, Cristina's show was about drag queens and their struggle. And my mama, sweet person that she is, understood the trials and tribulations. Ay, pobrecitas, ¿verdad, mijo? Sí, mamá, poor them. I think this is my cue. Mama, I'm like them. So gay. Oh, 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 Mama, I'm sorry. I just couldn't keep it away from you. Please, Mama, don't cry, please. Oh, mijo. No estoy llorando porque eres gay. Estoy llorando porque por fin me lo estás diciendo. What? You mean you knew? I'm your mother, Carlos Manuel. I know everything. And so we hugged, we cried, and we had ice cream. And that night, I was the gayest gay I could be. Not even Richard Simmons could top my excitement. After that, I told my sisters and my brothers, and they all accept me, and my life is as gay as it could be. And yes, I realized I'm lucky. I'm very, very lucky. Some people aren't. After coming out to my familia, the fun truly begins. I even go back to Club Paradise where I ran away from the blonde guy. I want to find him again and give it a go. But of course, he's not there. Still, I am determined to break my 2 days celibacy vow. So I walk around the club, head up, and keeping my cool. Smiling at those who look at me, nodding my head at those who stare, and tongue kissing those who say hi, because that's how I roll. I go around the club once, twice, and finally on the third time, I spot him standing on a corner. beer in hand and tapping his hood to whatever is playing in the background. Oh, he looks sexy and perfect. He's Mexican after all. He wears tight jeans, a tight t-shirt, his shorts, tacky, he has black eyes and a smile to kill for. I decide to walk towards him, keeping my cool and suddenly bobbing my head to Jennifer Lopez singing. I stand a few feet away from him, close enough so he can see me, but far away enough so he can think I happen to be there. Before I count to 10, our eyes lock. And he looks to kill, everyone will be dead. I smile, he smiles back, the game is on. He takes a sip of his beer, places it on the table, and slowly starts walking to the dance floor. Oh, the game is definitely on. At first, we start dancing with each other, keeping an appropriate distance. We have to start the game. After a couple of songs, our bodies start to brush against each other. They have to, it's expected. My body reacts to some sensations that I feel the blood rushing up to my head and making me dizzy. But I keep it cool. We continue dancing. This time my hands are on his torso and he's on mine. And our hips are moving side to side and back and forth, and it feels good. Oh, it feels really, really good. The game is definitely on. We keep dancing and dancing until we are tired and exhausted. And just when I'm about to tell him he wants to get out of there, someone taps him on the shoulder and tells him it's time to go. I guess my celibacy vow, like my heart, must go on. But I'm not ready to give up. Oh no. I go to the club, order a drink, and enjoy it as the Spice Girls sing. Oh yes. That's what the Spice Girls are singing. And that's what the guy next to me and I are talking about. I tell him what I want, he tells me what he wants, we down our drinks and we leave the club, because that's how we roll. My husband and I have been together for 17 years. 7 of those years have been under marriage. When people ask us how we met, some people are shocked to find out that our 70-year-old relationship is a result of a one-night stand. I think some people want to hear something like, oh, it was love at first sight. When the birds were chirping, the glow of the sunset made everything magical, and everything around us smelled like roses. But no, it wasn't like that. We met at the club, we talked, we done our drinks, we rented a hotel rooms, and we used condoms. It's funny. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that we are a one-night stand couple. My husband, and I like the idea that I'm sharing this information with him, but he's not here. If he ever finds out, he'll get mad. But sex is a powerful weapon. My husband and I have many things in common. We are both Mexicans, we are both immigrants, we both speak Spanish, we both love foreign films, but most of all, we love to eat. We're also very different. I like musical theater and sci-fi movies. He likes comedies and horror flicks. I have an eclectic taste in music, but he likes to listen to cheesy 1980s torsion songs. I'm a morning person, he's a night owl. I can get ready in 15 minutes, he usually takes an hour. I love sweets, he loves salty. He watches telenovelas, I don't. He loves going shopping, I order online. But the biggest difference of them all, I am an American citizen, and he is an undocumented immigrant. And until dawn I was struck down, there was nothing I could do to help him. I still remember the day he told me he was undocumented. He was nervous, afraid I was going to end whatever we have going. Little did he know that for a few years I was also undocumented. I didn't care about his immigrant status. I liked him very much, and I was going to do my best to have a relationship with him. And it worked. Soon, my husband and I started to share our lives, our intimate lives, and with time, our families met each other. Of course, not everything is happiness and joy. Being in a relationship presents its challenges. We argue, we have all those agreements, our vocal exchanges, and sometimes we fight for the stupidest things. Honey, is this a new sweater? Why, yes, I bought it yesterday, it was on sale. But we have many sweaters, sweetheart. I know, but it was only $60 instead of $100. We say 40. Oh, honey, we did not say 40. We just spent 60. Don't worry, I put it on your credit card. And off we go into a senseless argument about the stupid sweaters, of the dog leashes, of the toothpaste. And like everyone else, our arguments have gotten out of hand and have threatened our marriage. But at the end, we love each other. And we have come to realize that fighting is useless. Besides, we have many enemies to fight against. After the events of 9/11, we immigrants became the scapegoats and targets of hate and racial profiling. It doesn't matter if we're living in this country legally or not. Suddenly, if you look like an immigrant, you are subject to verbal, emotional, and even physical abuse. Your entire nationality, your entire identity, nationality, and citizenship status is called into question. And if you're a person who speaks with an accent, or at least what they consider an immigrant accent, they doubt your identity and your patriotism. Still, as citizens of this world, as immigrants and as minorities, we learn to adjust, we learn to fight back, and we learn to protect ourselves. And that is why in 2008, I decided to marry my husband. And this is before Proposition 8 brought the hearts of so many jotitas in California. I figured that through marriage I could give some protection to my husband. And then, in 2013, SCOTUS, sorry, I was thinking of Scalia. Anyway, SCOTUS struck down DOMA. As the historic decision says, same-sex couples are consigned to an instability many opposite-sex couples will deem intolerable in their own lives. In other words, straight couples would have never put up with the shit that we gay couples have put up for many years. Love wins! And so, I am able to sponsor my husband for legal residency. And just when I thought the Supreme Court has solved all my problems, we come to find out that marriage equality is not the same for everyone. Because he's an undocumented immigrant, even if my husband qualifies for a green card, he first has to be banished for 10 years as punishment for living in this country illegally. Can you believe that? 10 years. We were shocked. Later, we find out that we could apply for a pardon with the hopes for him to be forgiven. No? This is him? Oh, hi! How are you? He's our lawyer. Yeah, no, you're not interrupting. I'm just in the middle of a live show. No big deal. Uh-huh. Oh. Uh-huh. I see. Okay. Well, thank you for the update. All right, keep us in. Yeah. Okay, bye. It seems that the immigration judge listened to a pardon case. And according to our lawyers, the immigration judge seems to believe that because I don't have any serious illnesses, and my husband and I have no children, that a pardon may not be given. Apparently, being together for 17 years, 7 under marriage, has no weight in the matter. I guess love doesn't always win, huh? Oh, my husband will get his green card, but first he has to comply with his 10-year banishment. It's not official yet, but according to the lawyers, it doesn't look very promising. If my husband doesn't get his pardon, our lives are going to change forever. I don't even want to know how we're going to deal with such reality. And that is why we try to enjoy every minute or every hour. We don't even think about it because, well, if we do, we go crazy. Wouldn't you? Not even my mama and I talk about it. And I talked with my mama about everything. In fact, she knew if gay marriage was ever to become legal, that I was going to work on my papers, on my husband's papers. I hope everything works out for you, mijo. Gracias, mamá. Me too. Because you know, they will always make it hard for us. And they have. And it's true. Mother knows best. We are a family of immigrants. We have experienced the immigration process more than once, in many forms and shapes and with different results. The immigration reality has always been with us. It doesn't matter if we're straight or gay. To us immigrants, the struggle is actually real. And that is why we don't think about it. Because oh, forget it. Dear diary, now that I'm born, everything around me looks new and mysterious. I feel so strange being outside my mother's womb, and yet I'm not afraid. So many things to discover, so many things to feel, so many things to experience, to live, and to learn. Will the world around me be full of secrets, enigmas, and puzzles? What is the world like? What is my life going to be like? Will the Kardashians ever go away? When will fear, sorrow, and pain become part of my life? What things will I remember and what things will I forget? When will I actually learn how to write? Will I ever get married? Will I have children? Will people like me? Will I be happy? I have so many questions. I'm so excited about life. I am a work in progress, dear diary, ready to be filled with experiences, love, memories, and tears. I am a new being, an empty vessel. Quick life, take me there, to the infinite mysteries of your existence.